Hello friends, in the service costing further in transportation industry, today we'll talk in detail about cargo transportation costing, and then after doing two questions on this, we'll finish up by doing the powerhouse costing. So service costing probably will be finished today. So try to focus on these two industries which are left there. Now what is cargo transportation? Cargo is taking goods from one place to the other. It is just like passenger transportation with one major difference. In passenger costing, number of passengers matter. While taking tickets, conductor asks you how many passengers are there. He does not ask you weight of each and every passenger. Under cargo costing, however, what is relevant is weight of the packet. Number of packets do not matter at all. Here the cost unit will be ton kilometers or quintal kilometers. Means weight multiplied by distance. That will give me the cost unit here. Here I am interested in computing cost per ton kilometer, revenue per ton kilometer, the charges per ton kilometer, which is also known as freight per ton kilometer. Remember, freight in context of transportation costing is revenue from the point of view of transportation company. We are making all cost statement, everything from the point of view of transportation company. So don't get confused. We are accustomed to thinking freight as a cost. It is not cost, here it is revenue. So freight per ton kilometer is the objective to be calculated. Now further, there are two kinds of ton kilometers. We need to understand two different types of ton kilometers. Under cargo costing, the cargo transportation company intends to determine freight or revenue to be charged for transportation of goods from one place to the other. For this purpose, we study two cost units. One is absolute ton kilometers, another is commercial ton kilometers. I'll elaborate both of them. Let me tell you technically, absolute ton kilometer is a perfect concept. But in practice, in transportation industry, commercial ton kilometer is used more than absolute ton kilometer. I'll tell you why of everything. Take an example. There is transportation of goods from city A to city B and then to city C, then the truck or lorry comes back from city C to city A directly. From A, it starts with 10 tons, it goes for 100 kilometers, reaches B. It drops there 3 tons. If it drops there 3 tons means it is still carrying 7 tons. 7 tons it has to drop at C. And there is a distance of 200 kilometers. It drops that 7 tons there. Then it loads another 5 tons and comes back from C to A directly. The question arises, is the distance from C to A necessarily going to be 300 kilometers? Answer is no. It can be some shortcut. I give an example of this area. From Chandigarh to Yamunanagar, from Yamunanagar to Delhi. Then if you have to come back from Delhi to Chandigarh, you don't need to go back to Yamunanagar. Distance is reduced. Or there may be some hilly area, you have to come back through a longer distance necessarily. One-way distances are there. So it's not compulsory that distance is 300 kilometers. Yes, if question is silent, then you have to take 300 kilometers. If question says 250, I take 250. Question says 350, I take 350. Question tells you okay. Question does not tell, then it is 300 kilometers. Then you have to come back on same way as you went. So this is the chart. Always try to solve ton-kilometer question by making a diagram like this. Things will become very easy. Remember, we did one question in last class on passenger costing. Delhi to Jaipur, Delhi to Agra, Delhi to Chandigarh, something like that was there. We computed passenger kilometer of all three journeys separately and added. Same I apply here. I'll get ton kilometer. These ton kilometers are known as absolute ton kilometers. So what I do, it is written here, absolute ton kilometer represent the aggregate of product of loads carried with respective distances travelled. 10 into 100, it is this, plus 7 into 200, it comes from this. Then comes 5 into 250, 5 into 250 comes from this. If I multiply and add them, I get absolute ton kilometer 3650. This is called absolute ton kilometer. For different parts of journey, compute ton into kilometers and then aggregate them. You will get total ton kilometers for the full journey that was made. Now, what is commercial ton kilometer? Commercial ton kilometer uses average load concept. Average load concept. So, what it says, average load carried multiplied by total distance travelled. So, I add total distance travelled. What was total distance that they have travelled? This is 100 plus 200 plus 250. When I add the 3, I get 550 kilometers. Multiply with average load carried. There are three types of journey: 10 ton journey, 7 ton journey, 5 ton journey. If I add them, I get 22 tons in total. Divide by 3 because there is three types of journey. I get 7.33 tons in every journey. 7.33 multiplied by 550. I get 4033.33. Is this going to be same as absolute ton kilometer? No. It is a different concept. So different answer will come. Is averaging a good concept? Technically no. But in industry it is very popular. Why? Because for every journey you don't know detail. There they will pick up this much, there they will unload this much. You don't know. You know, on an average lorry will be carrying this much tons. As was there in case of occupancy for passenger transportation. 1% was known on an average. So if you are using average concept, it becomes commercial ton kilometer. Both are good concepts. Question arises when to use commercial ton kilometer. Must note this. You must note this and remember. When to use commercial ton kilometer. Number one, when specifically asked. When question says compute commercial ton kilometer or cost per commercial ton kilometer. Question is asking, you have to do. Or when information of different load carried is not available. When details are not available, only average load is given. You don't have a choice. You will have to compute commercial ton kilometer only. Otherwise, what is preferred in exam? Absolute ton kilometer is preferred. So, I am going to use absolute ton kilometer only unless question says or you don't have the information about the journey. The details are not there, only average load is known. Then I have to do commercial ton kilometer only. Both are correct concept. In exam, preferred concept is absolute ton kilometer. We are reaching illustration 1 of the ICI module, which is wanting you to calculate absolute and commercial ton kilometers. It is just like the example that I gave you earlier. Let us read from there and create a diagram which will help us reach the absolute and commercial ton kilometers. A lorry starts with load of 20 metric tons. MT is metric tons. You can call it tons or metric tons. From station A. So it is starting from station A. It is carrying 20 metric tons. Metric tons and tons is one and same thing. It unloads 8 metric tons at station B. So it reaches station B. I'm not interested in how much it unloads, but it carries further the balance 12 metric ton to station C. In return trip, it reaches station A with load of 16 metric tons. It directly goes to A with 16 metric ton. The distance A to B 80 kilometer, B to C 120 kilometer, from C to A, the distance given in the question is 160 kilometers. From B to C, it was given at 120 kilometers. Once the diagram is clear, the things are very easy to handle. I'll first calculate absolute ton kilometers. This is 20 into 80, 12 into 120, 16 into 160. 1600 plus 1440 plus 2560. Once you add, you will get 5600 metric ton kilometers. You can write it ton kilometers also. This is absolute metric ton kilometers. To compute commercial ton kilometers, I need to get average load multiplied by total kilometers. Average load is 20 plus 12 plus 16 whole divided by 3 multiplied by total distance 80 plus 120 plus 160. Will the answer be same? No. By chance can be same, but otherwise it is bound to be different. They are two different concepts, both having their positives and negatives. This is 16 average tons and this is 360 kilometers. Once you multiply, you get 5760 metric ton kilometers. This small question worth 3-4 marks in the exam have been asked many times earlier. Next question on cargo costing is illustration 5 of the institute module. It's a very good question related to cargo costing. The question talks about a particular month in which they are doing planning. You need to calculate very carefully the absolute ton kilometers. Cost is easily given. You can get cost per absolute ton kilometers easily. Then it wants to calculate profit for that month. So revenue minus cost is going to be the profit. One good point given there. There is some fine and penalty. You're doing some overloading in transportation and the police catches you and they impose some fine and penalty. That fine and penalty is not a cost. It's not a normal cost. It is an abnormal item. Will not come in cost per ton kilometer, but will surely come when you compute profit for that particular month. In costing P&L account, it will surely come. So throughout the question, there is one point computation of absolute ton kilometers. Second is cost per ton kilometer. In that fine will not come. In third part, for ascertaining profit revenue computation is a major thing to understand. So if you do the 3 points, the question is easily done. Let's go point by point. I am reading it first for you and then computing absolute ton kilometers. That's a very interesting exercise we are going to do in this question. Global Transport Limited charges 90 per ton for its 6-ton truck lorry load from city A to B. Charges for return journey are 84 per ton. No concession reduction is made for delivery at intermediate station C. This will happen when we reach the ultimate revenue computation. It will not disturb till then. In January 2008 or whatever year you are given, the truck made 12 outward journeys for city B with full load, out of which 2 tons were unloaded twice in the way at city C. You have to understand language carefully. I will make a diagram which will help you understand it easily. The truck carried a load of 8 tons on its return journey for 5 times, but once caught by police and 1200 was paid as fine. So material did reach the destination. It is not confiscated by police. They paid the fine, the abnormal cost, but it is reaching the destination. For remaining trips, truck carried full load, out of which all goods on load were unloaded once at city C, but it returned without any load from city C station to A station. Distance of A to C and city B is given 140 and 300. Then costs are given and everything. I want to make working note 1, which is most important. Analysis of absolute ton kilometers. There are 2 types of journeys. One is onward journeys and another will be backward journeys that will reach later on. Now what happens in onward journeys? Total how many journeys are there? 12 outward journeys he has written. Out of 12, 2 times it is stopping at C and 10 times going directly. So I am making a table type of thing there. 10 times A to B directly. 2 times A to C, then C to B. It is carrying normal load 6 tons. Here also 6 tons. But these 2 times he is unloading 2 tons twice in the way at city C. So it is carrying further 4 tons. 2 times it is happening. It starts with 6 tons, stops at C, unloads 2 tons and goes further with 4 tons only. Now what are the kilometers there? Note kilometers carefully from there. A to city C 140 kilometer. A to city B 300 kilometer. C to B not given will be balancing figure. The balancing figure is 160 kilometer. So onward journey details are complete. I'll first make details of backward journey, then start the computation of absolute ton kilometers. So I write there backward journey. The diagram is essential to make the things easy for you. Backward journeys. Backward journeys will start from B towards A. He says the truck carried a load of 8 tons 5 times. 5 times it carries load of 8 tons. In remaining trips, how many trips are remaining? 7. If 12 times it has gone, 12 times it will come back. 7 trips are remaining. For remaining trips, truck carried full load. Full load is 6 tons only, of which all the goods on load were unloaded once at city C. One time it goes till C and comes back. Starts with 6 tons and 0 tons are taken further. because all the goods were unloaded at city C. How many balance are remaining? 6 times. Out of 7, once it is stopping at C. Otherwise, it is coming directly from B to A with 6 tons. What is the distance given for this? Same. 300, 140, 160, 300. What I need to do, in all the 5 sections, I'll compute absolute ton kilometers and add, I will get total absolute ton kilometers. So I make a right hand side calculation there. In all 5 different journeys, part of journeys, I'll compute absolute ton kilometers. Six into 300 into 10, 18,000. Remember what I am doing? 6 into 300, this is for one journey, it happens 10 times. Into 10, I am getting 18,000. Now 6 into 140, 6 into 140, I am writing the calculation here, 840 plus 4 into 160, that is 640, and this happens 2 times. 1480 into 2, 2960. Similarly, 8 into 300, 2400 multiplied by 5, 12,000. 12,000. Now 0 into 140 is 0. 6 into 160, 960 into 1 remains 960. The last one is 10,800. When you aggregate all absolute ton kilometers, I am getting 44720 ton kilometers. That is the first thing done. Ton kilometers have been computing. So next thing what I do is, that is the first part of the question. Part 1, cost per ton kilometer. Monthly cost. Remember, fine will not be added because fine is a loss or abnormal cost. It will not come in my cost statement. You are given fixed cost 60,000 divided by 12. Why divided by 12? Because it was given annual. My ton kilometers are for the month of January, so I need to compute for a month only. Other than that, you are given maintenance charges. They are also given 12,000 annual divided by 12, 1,000 monthly. Running charges are given for the month only, 2944. So if I add them, this is 8944. Total cost for the month is 8944. Divide by ton kilometers, 44720. Once you divide, you get exact cost per ton kilometer. 8944 divided by 44720, 0.20 per ton kilometer. That is the answer of first part of the question. Note, fine being abnormal cost is ignored in cost statement and will be considered in making costing P&L account for January. That is what we are going to make last in this question. Now working note 2, determination of revenue for January. Now question gives me outward journeys 90 per ton, backward journeys 84 per ton, no reduction in fare for goods unloaded at sea. So whether they are unloaded at C or B or A in return journey does not matter. The goods which were loaded at either A or B will be charged the fare. Whatever are loaded at A will get 90 per ton, whatever are loaded at B in return journey will get 84 per ton. So onward journeys tons loaded 12 journeys 6 ton per journey, 72 tons, revenue nu 72 into 90, 72 into 90, 6480. Backward journeys five journeys carried 8 tons, rest of 7 journeys carried 6 tons. Whether unloaded at C or taken to A does not matter at all. He has said no concession, no further charge even. That cannot be charged further. So you are having is 40 tons, 42 tons, total 82 tons. Revenue 82 into 84 per ton is the rate. 6888. Total revenue that they have earned 6480 plus 6888. 13368. Last thing in the question, income statement. For January. Revenue from working note 2, 13368. Cost from part 1 rather. It was not working note, it was part 1 answer. In cost statement, we got the total cost 8944. fine. Refer note 1. We said in costing P&L will be charging the fine. 8944 plus 1200. 10144 when reduced from revenue 13368, I am getting profit 3224. This is part 2 of the question. That is a complete question there. This is illustration number 5. That is completion of cargo costing concepts. The last topic in the service industry relates to the powerhouse. Now, powerhouse costing is very easy concept. The cost unit that you are going to use here is kWh. It is short form of kilowatt hours. This comes quite a lot even in chapter of overheads. Kilowatt hours. What is kilowatt hours? It is multiplication of kilowatt and machine hours. Kilowatt multiplied by machine hour, they are all called composite cost units. You have done in this chapter so many composite cost units. You have done passenger kilometers, ton kilometers, you have done room days, bed days, patient days. Similarly is this kilowatt hours. So this is some easy calculation which will come later on in overheads chapter also. If you have already done that, you will already be knowing this. So this is kilowatt multiplied by machine hours. So what do? We make a cost statement, cost sheet to determine total cost related to a powerhouse, and total cost divided by kilowatt hour tells me cost per kilowatt per hour. That is to be charged. If you are a charitable institution or public entity, you will not be adding any profit, or else you add profit also and get takings. Takings divided by kilowatt hour gives you the charging to be taken from customers. Now, in this aspect, there are two questions, but they are exactly same. So, I will be doing one of them only. They are word to word, figure by figure same. By some error in the institute module, it is given. This is illustration number 12. Same as practical question, unsolved questions which are given in institute booklet. Question number 3. I am not saying they are similar, they are same. So, I will do one of them, that will take care of the other also. So, that will complete my things. Again, you have to prepare a cost statement for a particular period for which kilowatt hours are known. Can be monthly, can be annual. And institute does classify into running cost, fixed cost, semi-variable cost, and in question itself, maintenance they don't put into semi-variable, they put into variable. So, they do some confusions. I will not go into confusion. I will put all the cost, add them, total cost divided by kilowatt hour. That will serve my purpose. Otherwise, what are variable cost? All fuel cost there. Now, fuel in powerhouse, what is a fuel? There can be thermal plant, coal is the fuel. There can be hydroelectric power generation unit, water is the fuel there. There can be nuclear power plant, nuclear energy can be fuel there. Uranium and all such elements can be fuel there. Fuel is certainly variable cost. In my question, there is thermal plant, so coal consumed will be fuel consumed. Other than that, there can be some water charges, direct labor, they are all variable cost. Repair maintenance is kept as semi-variable. All other costs like rent, rates, taxes, insurance, depreciation, salaries to whatever administrative staff is there, administrative other overheads are there, they're all taken as fixed cost. I'm not classifying like that, but if required by question specifically, you can classify like this. So in this 12th illustration, which is same as question number 3, practical question number 3, you are given total units generated 10 lakh kWh. It is for the year as a whole. So annual cost statement I'll make, divide by 10 lakh, I'll get the answer. So what I'm making is annual cost statement. Annual cost statement. You are given operating labor. I don't classify, I put everything. Operating labor cost 15 lakh. Repairs and maintenance. Repairs and maintenance 5 lakh. Lubricants, spares and stores. Lubricants, spares and stores 4 lakh. Plant supervision. Plant supervision 3 lakh. Administration overheads. Administration overheads 20 lakh. Then at the bottom, 5 kWh of electricity generated per kg of coal consumed at 4.25 per kg. Coal consumed, refer WN1. So in working note, I'll be computing coal consumed. Coal consumed. Total electricity generated 10 lakh kWh. 10 lakh kWh. 5 kWh per kg of coal required. Coal required in kg. 10 lakh divided by 5. 2 lakh kg coal will be required. 2 lakh kg, 5 kilowatt hour per kg, that makes 10 lakh kWh that we are producing. Rate is 4.25 per kg. So 2 lakh kg into 4.25 per kg. This is rupees 8,50,000. So coal is consumed for cost of 8,50,000. Be very sure you are able to read carefully to find whether to multiply or divide. When it says 5 kWh per kg of coal, it is to divide. If it said 5 kg per kWh, then I multiplied. So be sure you have to read units carefully in the language given to you. Depreciation charges. 5% on capital cost of 200 lakhs, that is 2 crore. 5% of 200 lakh. This is 10 lakh. So 10 lakh rupees is depreciation cost. If we were to classify, depreciation will be another fixed cost. So you have to add them all. Let's get total. 15, 5, 20, 24, 27. divide by 10 lakh, I am getting is 6.55 per kWh. That is the answer. That is what we were looking for. Cost per kWh is 6.55. This completes all the concepts in service costing and the booklet 2 of ICI module, volume 2 of ICI module, which carried all methods of costing, all techniques of costing is complete. I hope you have enjoyed the sessions. We'll continue with more concepts to follow in next class.